Hi, my name is Ms. Colon, and today we're going to be learning about Native American assimilation. Our focus question for today is, how did U.S. expansion affect different cultures? So really, for our objective, we want to evaluate, we want to evaluate U.S. government actions on Native American children, and you have to make sure that you support your analysis with evidence from primary sources. So how can we learn that? Well, we can learn it by, of course, being more familiar with the concept of assimilation. And the way that we're going to do that is through a Jamboard, and we're going to work together or collaborate, okay? So what do you think assimilation means based on these photographs? Okay, what do you think assimilation means based on these photographs? So let's look at, there's a before and there's an after, right? So what do we see before? Okay, we see longer hair, okay, longer hair, different clothes or garment. Yeah, very good, very good. How about after? What are the children wearing? Okay, and you can use a sticky note and write in your home language. You write in your home language or English, or you could use an image that reminds you of whatever you think this word means. Okay, so let's see if you guys are correct. So assimilation is being made to look, act, and think like the dominant culture. And in this case, certain white American children, right? During this time period, certain white American children dressed like this, okay? So to assimilate, right, there's definitely a change going on here, right? And the change is that they're looking like white American children, right? Very good. Moving on. The next concepts that we're going to focus on are mainstream and reservation. Well, first of all, let's break this word up, main and stream. When we think of the word main, what comes to mind? What is main? You can add your sticky note. So main is when something, okay, number one, okay, very good. Maybe the most important, yeah. Yeah, main, kind of like a main idea, right? That's the important idea in a text. Very good. And when we think of a stream, maybe some of you don't know this, but a river, you have a stream, right? And when there's a nice stream going along the town, everyone can, can see it and get what they want from this stream, right? So it's, you're able to access it or use it, right? So in the case of mainstream, it's something important that maybe we can use, right? Maybe we can use or access, okay? So that's definitely it. Which one do you think is a reservation from these photographs? This one? Why? Okay, because this is a house, okay? Yeah, and this is also a house, right? This is considered a house, right? It's a tent, right? And let's see if you guys are correct. So a reservation is land set aside for Native Americans to live on. So is this mainstream for us? Do any of you live in tents? No, you live in an apartment. Okay, maybe some of you in a house. Okay. But this was mainstream for Native Americans, right? Living in tents. This was certainly appropriate, right? For their culture. They loved it, right? And mainstream basically means the ideas, attitudes, or activities that are considered as normal, right? So maybe some of us might think this is mainstream, but Native Americans do not, right? So different perspectives, thinking about what is mainstream, what is not mainstream, right? And if we make a connection back to assimilation, right, and connect to the text that we're reading about, the reaction to the Dawes Act, the hair, right, longer hair for maybe men is not considered mainstream by the white American, but for Native Americans it was mainstream, right? So this is going to be different for different groups of people, right? And for the white American, having a house would be considered mainstream, right? According to the texts. All right, now let's look at Native American or Indian versus man or citizen. So first of all, who do you think is a Native American? Okay, this man here. Okay, why? You see feathers, okay, different clothes or garments, okay. The hair, you have a headpiece, okay, very good. And then we have man or citizen. So first of all, what do you think a Native American is based on these photographs? What do you think man or citizen is? Okay, use the sticky notes. Let's see if you're right. Okay, let's see. So a Native American is a member of any of the first groups of people living in North America or South America. In this case, we're focusing on North America because we're in the United States. Okay, and a citizen is basically a legally recognized person of a country. So when you're considered a citizen, usually you're considered a human being. Now, when we think about the text from this lesson, the second text, right? Kill the Indian and save the man, were Native Americans considered citizens, right? That's the question that you want to ask yourself. Who was considered a citizen and why, right? So when we think about a citizen, it's a person that is part of the country. You are recognized or seen as part of the country. You are American, right? Okay, and the last concepts here are submit versus resist. Well, let's look at these pictures. What do we see is going on? Okay, and I want you to look closely at what the Native Americans are doing. Okay, okay, so we have two groups. We have a Native American and we have who else? The colonizers. Okay, the colonizers. Okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? The Native American is saying, get away. Okay, very good. There's like a disagreement. They're saying no, right? Very good. Okay, what do you think resistance means based on that? Okay, you can add your pictures, you can add your text with sticky notes, home language or English. How about here? What do you think submit means, to submit? Okay, they're taking something. So are they saying yes? Okay, they're saying yes, very good. So there's some sort of agreement going on, okay? So maybe submitting means to say yes. Let's see if you're correct. To submit means to accept or agree to something, usually towards something superior or more powerful. Okay, so you guys were right. And to resist means to not accept or disagree to something, right? So here we see that they're disagreeing, right? And when we think about the concept of assimilation, right, this word that we must know for this lesson, um, is assimilation submitting or resisting? Some of you are saying submitting. Why is it submitting? Why is assimilation submitting? Submitting to white American culture. Very good. Very good.